All right, we should be back. Live again, live again. Good, good, good. Live, live, live. Back, back, back. Is everything working? Everyone here? Tony Hybusa is back. Good. Good. All right. Good. Let's do this. All right, we're back. All right. Back. Good. Everything should be back. Everything should be working. Let's get this sound back up. This music back up. Thought Sony got him? Yeah. Not today, Sony. Not today. What did they do to fix this?
Because I'm trying to show the point of reference of what's actually this video is about. And if you look up in the top corner, this is my frame rate at the moment. And sure, it fluctuates a little bit, but nothing significant to a point where my game feels really, really bad. Of course, it does matter where I'm looking, but that's just how PMs work without any people.
I'm going to look at this in a minute. I want to figure out how to fix my stuttering issue so I can play the damn game. Where was I at? Yeah, that's a big one. Probably over here somewhere. 10,000 tabs later. Aha. You had a guardian down moment, but we're back now. We're back. All right. All right, here we go. This is interesting. If my power does go out again because of the storms, there's like I can hear loud thunderstorms going on. If it does go out again, like if the stream randomly ends, that's because the thunderstorms got me. They clapped me. And I'll probably just leave the stream off for now. But we're going to keep going. We're not stopping. We'll do it live. They can't stop us. PlayStation handed Nintendo an easy W with their announcement that they were ending physical disc games for the future starting in 2028. Now, apparently, a Nintendo analyst says they're unlikely to influence their future games. It's pretty crazy. The House of Mario may already be implementing digital game keycards, but there's no denying that maintaining a physical presence is a pro player strategy. I mean, if there's a market for it, right? That's the real key here. If people want to buy something in a particular format, you should make it available for them. Yeah, Nintendo may end up winning on trust here. This is also a big time. Xbox could step up to the plate and, you know, they could score a big W. They need it right now. They're losing the console wars in horrific fashion. So maybe they step up too. We'll see. How crazy would it be if PlayStation's announcement to end physical gaming media turned out to have the exact opposite effect and all the other companies stepped up and said, you know what? We're swinging extra hard the other way. How crazy would that be? Unlikely, but it would be wild. right. We are back. Yes. This is interesting. Who's excited for the PlayStation 6? Everybody in the chat boos because of their physical media announcement, right? The PlayStation 6 is being cooked up right now. In fact, I would argue that the announcement that physical gaming media coming to an end for PlayStation is due to the fact that PlayStation 6s will likely not have a disk drive on them, right? Like that's the reason why they're doing it. Let's be real. They want the cost-cutting measures where there won't be the ability to put the disc in the game that saves them money as they produce these PS6s, and therefore they can make them a little bit more affordable, or they just continue to charge you the exact same like they've been doing. That's probably the more likely one, right? They're still just going to charge you the same amount, but they as a company get to save money. We got some new PlayStation 6 details. It's going to reportedly launch in fall of 2027. Ooh, a year away. A year away? Dang. Foxconn is expected to begin mass production in May 2027. Man, in less than a year, they're going to start the production of these bad boys. Going to be cooking them up. Are they going to sell well, do you think? If you don't know, we just recently saw like the worst month ever in PlayStation 5 sales. PlayStation sales just had its worst May in 25 years. Dear God. 25 years? And Xbox was the worst ever. And this was 5 days ago. This was before the announcement that they were ending the physical media, which just completely angered everyone. In fact, trending on Twitter was hashtag not buying PS6. Like, that's how intense the situation is right now. People are mad. They are more mad than ever before. And PlayStation is already selling terrible compared to previous PlayStation generations. The Xbox is doing even worse, which is just crazy to think about that. That's why they're about to lay off like several thousand employees over there. And now you got the PlayStation 6 being cooked up here, coming out potentially next year. Delaying the launch becomes costly for Sony once the production starts. Yeah, that's going to be brutal. I can't help but feel like strategically there's something a little bit off about this. And let me be, Pete Parsons for a minute here. Wouldn't you want to launch your PS6 or your next generation Xbox? Wouldn't you want to launch that just before the arrival of GTA 6, this game that's going to sell like, I don't know, 1 billion copies or something insane, right? Like, you would think you'd want to drop that a little before. I'm just saying, if I was an evil genius, right? If I was doing some Pete Parsons level manipulation and craziness, I'm dropping the PS6 like 1 month before GTA 6. That's perfect timing, dude. That sells a lot of consoles. That's going to say a lot. Now, is the timing there? When did the PS5 come out? That's what we really need to know. When did PlayStation 5 come out? And is the PlayStation 6 going to be advanced enough for people to care? Like, are most people just going to stay on PS5? The PS5 launched in November of 2020, so about 8 months, 9 months after COVID hit, they hit us with that new console, and they were cashing in big for a while. You better believe that. They were cashing in big. It's been a bit, though. It's been 6 years. It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. What do you think? Are you going to buy a PS6 or are you going Xbox or are you going Steam Machine now? How are you going to game in the future? Nintendo Switch? What do you got? Are you playing on iPad? What's your platform of choice? Comment down below. That's what I want to know. We want to see where people are leaning towards. Oh, I just heard the thunder crack, dude. As soon as I hear that thunder go off, or not the thunder, the lightning, I'm like, oh my God, my power. I got PTSD now. All right, so the chat says they are. Batman says he's staying on Steam. Kato says he's staying on PC, and the XPS is going to be. That's what I'm saying. PC gamers, dude. That's what I'm saying. PC gamers out there. We're locked in. I'm telling you, to be on the platform that feels like it has your back, there's something about that, you know? Even if it's a placebo, right? Even if Gabe Newell really doesn't care, it feels nice. You will never see this again. Physical gaming media is leaving. This was a different generation, dude. How many copies of Destiny did I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 32 copies of Destiny 1. That's right. What did I do with these? I don't even remember what happened. I think the game went over to PlayStation 5 or Destiny 2 came out, and I went into a GameStop and PlayStation was being sold for $2 a copy. I was like $2 a copy for Destiny 1. I was like, I'll take them all. I literally was like, I'll take every copy you got. And I put down, I don't know, $60 on the table. And I walked out. I felt like Elon Musk that day. I was like, dude, I got the world in my hands, dude. The best game in the world. I got 30 copies of it. Where did these go? I forget what we did with these. Gave them away. I think we even ended up shooting one, weirdly enough. Of all things. Man, I should have kept these. These are going to go in a museum one day. Dude, this could have been a collection that people would pay money to come see. Imagine a museum filled with Destiny game cases, in the future, right? That's what what we call a GameStop will one day just be a museum 300 years from now. I got to find a way to play the Division series on my Steam or PC. There you go. All right, so this is the next news story. Apparently, they're making a Halo Destiny game. We covered this previously from. Yeah, this is that HTD_blog. This guy had this post, and then it's deleted. It says technical Halo. What did they say here? Let me see here. Control F. Type Halo. Oh, everything they says Halo 7. This doesn't really seem that credible. All right, here we go. Leaks, dude. Leaks. All right, hold on one second. We are huffing the copium today, boys and girls. And we're doing so for one reason and one reason alone. And that is I have destiny depression, and it's uncurable. My doctor, he can't find a cure for this. There's no amount of medication that's going to heal me. Warframe won't do it. Halo doesn't do it. Borderlands doesn't do it. Nothing will cure my destiny depression, except maybe this. This could possibly do it. This could be the thing that saves me. r/gaming leaks and rumors. Halo MMO leak in the vein of Destiny? That's what the fuck I'm talking about, my dudes. If this is real, incredible. So you got the TLDR, that one random leak by user HTD_blog on this subreddit a few weeks back isn't the only source that has either leaked or heard rumblings of this Halo MMO. And if you don't know, that was the video we talked about where Rick Kakis actually reported on this, which was a new Destiny-inspired game being developed by Microsoft. And very interesting stuff. This post, though, by HTD blog apparently got deleted on Reddit, which is, I don't know if that's suspicious. I don't know if that's good or bad, but, you know, I don't. The post got deleted, but it's still archived with Rick Kakis' video and our video talking about it as well. Technical Halo has heard some things, but apart from it being an early prototype, he has nothing really else to report. So it sounds like it's in the early stages right now, if true at all. So where does this come from? The post comes from Technical Halo, a reliable leaker who has also leaked info about the Project EKUR standalone Halo game and other things. What is EKUR? What is the game EKUR? And who is the leaker Technical Halo? And what did he say about that game before it came out? The game you're referring to is Project EKUR, which is not officially announced yet. It's an internal code name for a rumored Halo multiplayer project that reportedly evolved from the canceled Project Tatanka, which was Halo Infinite's Battle Royale prototype. Ooh, really? That was being worked on by Certain Affinity in collaboration with Halo Studios. As far as technical Halo, they couldn't find any well-sourced Halo insider by that name connected to the leaks. So, again, take it with a grain of salt. Take it with 2 grains of salt, because right here, we are huffing the copium to the highest degree. Until we get something more substantiated, it's just rumors and speculation. But it's starting to get some traction. I mean, 256 upvotes, 150 comments. People are interested. People are curious. He says he has heard some rumblings of a Halo MMO FPS similar in nature to Destiny that is an early prototype. That's crazy. So if it's a Halo game, the Halo aesthetic, FPS game, we're already, we're doing pretty good, and MMO, my God. He has said nothing else regarding the details of the game. He also referenced a post here a few weeks back about some alleged dev who has insider info on the MMO. Interesting. That dev who leaked that info also claimed Sea of Thieves Android release is in early 2027. Technical Halo has stated that if that does happen, it will give a strong reliability to the dev's insider claims. So they leaked this, and they're leaking Sea of Thieves Android release in 2027. So if that happens in early 2027, we get the Sea of Thieves Android release. Therefore, that gives more credibility to their other leaks. What a time to be alive. Essentially, Technical Halo has heard some rumors, nothing super clear and concrete. It shouldn't be treated yet like the Project Eaker leaks, which have been 100% confirmed as the next Halo multiplayer game. If this Sea of Thieves leak comes true next year, early 2027, it will give that Halo MMO leak a lot more credence. So there it is. That's the info we got right here. This guy kind of summarizes it in a TikTok here. This is where I first found this information.
A huge leak, and if you're a fan of Destiny or MMOs, you'll want to hear this. According to multiple sources on the Gaming Leak subreddit, Xbox may be developing a Halo MMO similar to Destiny. The original claim came from a user called HTD Blog, who said Obsidian pitched the concept to Phil Spencer, who gave it the green light based on Xbox's past history with MMOs. A new team, codenamed Team X, was reportedly formed for the project and has been working on it for 1 to 2 years. But here's where the rumor gets a little bit more credible. Halo leaker Technical Halo, who previously leaked accurate information about Project Eaker, has now separately confirmed hearing rumblings of a Halo MMO FPS in early prototype stages. He was careful to stress that he has nothing concrete beyond that, and that this should not yet be treated with the same confidence as the Project Eaker leaks. And so yeah, a Destiny-style Halo MMO could actually be in early development. Now, of course, nothing is confirmed, but the sources here are worth paying attention to. And so my question is, would you want a Halo MMO?
That's crazy. Crazy if true, right? That could do it. That could cure my Destiny depression. We're going to keep a very close eye on the subreddit, on both of these accounts, Technical Halo and HTD Blog, and we'll bring you an update if we do get any, because this is very, very interesting stuff. I hope it's true. I hope we get another FPS MMO game. That's all I want. FPS MMO. That's it. Drop the mic. Absolute cinema. If they did a true MMO style version, it would be amazing. Destiny was always crippled by its console UI and limitations. Well, yes, but the console stuff is what helped us pay the bills too, right? Like I agree, but the console, like we needed the console stuff to pay the bills. The console community, they're just they're gamers, you know what I'm saying? They'll buy. We need those customers. So it was a trade-off. Probably a worthy one, right? At least for its time. Who knows if we could pull it off without that. Nowadays. All right. What a time. Oh, this is what I need to see. Yes, this is what I need to see. All right. Watch this together, chat. I need to fix the stutter. I need to be able to play the game.
In it. This is very different from what I get on the other platform, and this is just to show that I've fixed the issue, but a lot of Steam players are not going to like the answer. Short answer, you have to go on over to Microsoft and get the game there. But that's the problem. Anyway, enjoy the video, and I probably explain it 30 times, but now you know. Problem is...
You have to do what?
Now, I don't know how many people this is affecting, but there's a really bad stuttering issue that's going around on Steam platforms only. And I can say this more with confidence now, because I downloaded the game on Microsoft, and I'm probably going to be playing it for the foreseeable future because of how it feels on Steam. Meaning, I don't have any of the DLCs, you know, I'm just going to start a new account on Microsoft. Now, I need to give you context. The issue isn't
A new
that frame
account?
rate goes low, it's that it cannot be consistent and stutters. It's a big difference between me playing a sixes game versus me playing a private match or, you know, a 3v3 game. My frame rate dependency is very different, you know, just dramatically. So, in a sixes game, I would say between 100 at least to 140. That's like the average on a one sixes game. It doesn't matter what map, it doesn't matter what it is. And then a sixes game is 140 to 160, easily. That's pretty consistent, and that should be the average. And then a PM could be 160 to 200. That's what it was before the update. It's important you know this, because when I'm showing you this, I'm simply going off consistency that the game is showing me. It's not even the best to read off of the game itself. But the whole point is that it's not fluctuating and stuttering like it is. That's why it feels smoother. That's why it feels like I can shoot without it fluctuating in a gunfight. So when you're looking at my Microsoft gameplay here, do not think it's because my frame rate is just average.
Right, so that you have to download a mic. I'm not downloading a Microsoft account, dog. We got to come up with another way to fix this, dude. We got to come up with another way to fix this, dudes. Destiny has become unplayable for me, and I am very sad about it. What is this person typing in chat even? That's why sales are down. Everyone has Netflix and Amazon already on their devices. They need to make games. 60% of Americans already own a gaming console. Sony and Xbox will never make console sales. It's like trying to pan for gold in California. Yeah, you know, we were kind of reaching the technological limits in some ways, right? I feel like we kept advancing the visuals more and more. And it's like, I'll give you a good example. Even as a PC player, it's like, I really don't care about anything. As long as it's above 100 frames, I don't care that much. Some other people might, but like above 100 frames, it's like, I barely can even notice the difference. So we've kind of reached our limit, our technological limit in some ways. 1 second. It's going to be harder to sell these consoles to people. It's going to be harder. I found this to be I found this to be kind of fascinating in some ways, because the consoles, or not the consoles, but I started to realize that there's more platforms out there than I thought, because your TV has turned into a platform now. And I noticed this recently with my Vizio TV that turned itself into a damn PC practically. It's a smart TV, and then you turn it on, and it has a UI that has a bunch of ads on it. It's, you know, promoting a bunch of random shit. It plays ads. It plays a B-roll screen, right? It does all these things, right? So your Vizio or your Samsung or whatever, that is essentially a platform as well. Some people have a damn Samsung smart fridge. You've got your phone's platform, you got your iPad, you got your laptop, you got your PC, you got your gaming console, you got your Nintendo Switch, you got your Xbox, you got all this, right? There's just so many different platforms now. And what I think we might see, usually what you see in industries like this, and I could be wrong, but I got that old man wisdom, right? I got that little bit of gray in my beard wisdom. What you tend to see in business is usually you'll see like mergers, and we've seen a lot of acquisitions, right? Acquisitions where, Xbox is buying stuff, PlayStation's buying stuff, acquisitions is big. But I wonder if we'll ever see a merger. You know what I'm saying? Imagine the day. And a merger between one of these entities that's massive, Could you imagine if Xbox and PlayStation merged together to fight against Steam? It'd be glorious, dude. This would be a glorious battle. Can you imagine if it's hard to say what would happen, It's hard to say how they would even pull it off. But Microsoft already has so much money that it's like, I guess they don't really need to merge anymore. They just buy things. CRT TV change of color, yeah. I was watching a video recently. I didn't finish it because it was like a 25-minute video, and I was like, I really don't have time for this much time for this topic. But the topic was like, your 4K TV is lying to you. It's not actually playing in 4K. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. You were getting scammed out here. And I thought that was pretty fascinating that like your 4K TV might not be performing as well as you think, maybe. I forget. I'd have to watch the actual video is the problem, but I didn't want to. I was like 25 minutes to learn about this topic. I don't know about that one. All right. Oh no. So the next Xbox will reportedly not have a disk drive as well. This is going to be crazy, chat. This is going to be crazy. The new Xbox will reportedly not have a disk drive. Yes, and this comes to us on the backs of PlayStation announcing no more physical games in 2028. We are entering into a digital age, and we're doing it kicking and screaming. Xbox's new console, Project Helix, will reportedly not have a disk drive. Microsoft is exploring ways to digitize physical games. This is an interesting part, though. They're going to make it so you can take your physical game, put it into your Xbox. It'll create a digital receipt of ownership, and then you'll have that game. You don't need the physical copy anymore. So then you could eject the game, put it into the box, and put it on the shelf effectively, which is pretty crazy to think about, right? The all-digital future may be closer than we thought. According to new reports, Xbox may be moving away from physical media with a console currently known as Project Helix. Windows Central revealed that its sources say Project Helix, the next generation Xbox, will not feature a disk drive. And, it's pretty obvious that's why PlayStation is going this direction as well. They want to make the next generation of consoles much cheaper, so that way they're more affordable and, they don't burn as much money, basically. Right now, we're going through a massive component crisis, memory, RAM, you name it. Components are way too expensive, and the problem is the AI data centers. They're sucking them all up. They're soaking up all the components. They're willing to pay so much more money than these console companies will, and so they're just winning all the bids, and all the companies are just like, sure, we're going to give you our stuff instead. And so the console companies can't compete because the console companies are selling the consoles at a loss. Everyone knows this. Is pretty well documented information, and you can only do that for so long. And unfortunately, as things are getting more and more expensive, they're trying to make them cheaper. And that involves removing the disk drive. And therefore, if you don't have a disk drive, well, how are you going to buy a physical? How are you going to put the physical disk in the damn thing, right? No further details were provided, but the news came after PlayStation revealed it will no longer be producing or supporting physical game discs starting in January 2028. This suggests that the PlayStation 6 won't come with a disk drive and that Sony is planning to embrace an all-digital future. And that's to everyone's dismay. The Verge added on to the news cycle by reporting that Microsoft is exploring a new disc to digital feature, which I think is awesome. This is the way it should have worked from the beginning, right? You can take the physical media, put it into your drive, it downloads it or downloads a digital receipt of it. And then if you put it into another console or another thing, it transfers ownership from one to the next, I guess. I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's kind of the way it worked before anyways. So you're not really losing out on too much with that. But then you can at least have like a digital version existing independently from the physical version. This would allow users to put a disc into their console and gain a digital license for the game, giving them the ability to play it without a disc. If the owner gives the disc to someone else, that entitlement then transfers to the new player. This essentially means you can't resell or loan your physical copy to a friend if you want to keep the digital version, which that does suck, right? I used to back in the day. I don't do it as much anymore. Obviously, you're buying games on Steam. I can't go take my Steam library down to GameStop and be like, hey, can I trade in this game, Mind's Eye, for $20? They're not going to do that. But back in the day, we used to trade games like crazy. I was broke. You know what I'm saying? I was poor and I could not afford to have that many games. So your only solution is to load in, play the game as much as possible, beat the hell out of it, eject the game out of your disc or pull the cartridge out of the console, go down to the mall, stop off at GameStop, turn in your games. They didn't give you the best trade-in value, but it was better than nothing. And then you got a new game, and then you just kept cycling through games. This was the meta for poor people in gaming, especially when you're a kid. This was an absolutely essential part of gaming for me as a kid. I would not have been able to play half the games I played if it wasn't for having a physical copy and being able to trade it in and get some value for it. So it means a lot to me. I really like physical gaming media, and watching it go, it feels like it hurts. This is not quite as bad as Destiny 2 dying, but it's right up there. You know what I'm saying? It's like Destiny 2 dying for me. Losing physical gaming media, right there. The discs will still work as normal if you choose not to digitize it. The report also notes that this will only apply to Xbox One and Series X and S games. Someone said Nintendo already lets you do this. You can give your digital games to a friend. Nice. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. I do have a Nintendo Switch. I recently got it, and I got like a Pokemon game. Let's Go Eevee. And yeah, you can buy it digitally or you can buy the physical game. And I wanted to get the Pokemon for both generations, right? So I could trade the Pokemon that my son can't catch because he has the other one. And so you buy one of Pokemon. The Nintendo has like the infinite money glitch with this, right? They make you buy essentially two versions of the same game, right? And so I went down to the store and I bought the used version of it so I could save money on the other one, so I could trade Pokemon back and forth. But yeah, the used version was like half the cost of the digital version. So you definitely save money with the used game market. And the used gaming is awesome. This provides so much value. And this drives down the cost and the affordability for gamers, especially in a time when everything else seems to be getting more expensive. And I get it. The greedy suits at Sony and Nintendo and Xbox as well. These guys need to make money and they're trying to make as much money as humanly possible, right? And so they know if they get rid of the trading economy in gaming, that just means more people have to buy digitally. They have to keep buying the thing that pays them money, right? Like if you go down to GameStop and trade in your physical game and get a trade in, right? You don't Sony doesn't make any money from that. Like Sony doesn't own them. Sony does. You're making money off of something that they created, but that whole economy and that whole system doesn't benefit them. So they're basically undermining that and getting rid of that. And that's why there's a lot of pushback. And rightly so. I think we should revolt against this as much as possible. Original Xbox and Xbox 360 titles will not be supported with this feature. Damn, they're gone. Done and dusted. The Verge was unable to speak to rumors of whether or not Project Helix will have a disk drive, but speculated that this new feature may be a way for users to start preparing for an all-digital Xbox. If players want the next version of the console, they may be able to start digitizing their library on the current one. This is good. We're basically creating a stop killing games initiative within for ourselves. We're digitizing our own games, keeping them alive for generations. This generation, console manufacturers gave players the choice on how they buy their games. If you are uninterested in discs, you can buy digital-only variants of both Xbox Series X and PS5. However, you can also buy a console with a disc drive included, or in the case of the PS5, buy an attachable disc drive for the digital-only variant of the console. Although it's certainly possible that future consoles could have an optional disc drive to support physical backward compatible titles, it's hardly a guarantee at this point. Wow. As of right now, Xbox has yet to make any official comment or stance on the future of physical media. Microsoft has confirmed that it will share more about Project Helix later in the year. Dude, I want to hear more about this. It's going to be an interesting console war with PS6 and Helix. What are we even going to call the new Xbox? What is the name of this thing? Though it's unclear how detailed those details will be, it's expected that both consoles will release next year, though there are concerns over the viability of that, given the cost to produce these pieces of hardware. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy time. Ultimately, with pricing, lack of options for physical media fans, and an overall feeling that this generation hasn't even reached its full potential, the next generation is sounding rather unattractive. Perhaps there's a way to hook players in with the next line of consoles, but right now it's becoming an increasingly harder sell. Crazy times. Crazy times. How do you feel about the digital future for gaming? Did you ever wait in line at a midnight release? Those were the good old days, dude. I wish I had recorded that. I wish I had that footage. It just exists up here in the noggin, you know? And it was a good time. We need to bring that back, right? That was where it was at. We need to wait in line for a midnight release for a digital release. We'll just make it up. Make up fake physical games, you know? Just start selling empty plastic cases. Bring it back, dude. All right. All digital equals destroys the hobby of gaming. Yeah, it definitely changes. And, you know, I mean, the trend is going digital. I concede that point. Okay. I'm not here like with, you know, blinders or just like complete nonsensical rage, screaming at my, you know, waving my fist at the sky, you know, being angry at the gods, the overlords, the PlayStation overlords or anything, right? I get it. Things are trending digital. And I understand that. I wish that there was a way where the consumers that want physical could, you know, have their desires met as well too, though. And I'm sure there's got to be ways where we could strategize this and figure it out. But unfortunately, it seems like because the consoles itself get more expensive and then the physical producing of the media itself is expensive. It's like, it's basically just a massive cost-cutting measure for them. It's like they're going to save a lot of money. The problem is that they're going to save all this money and then they're still just going to charge us the same anyways. So it's not, if they could do this and then be like, listen, because of this, the next generation of consoles is going to be way cheaper. Everyone would cheer. I mean, maybe not cheer because we still want the physical media, but we would at least be like, aw, that sucks. But, oh, you know, at least we get something out of it, right? Instead, it's like, they're making all these cost-cutting measures and you're still going to pay, you're still going to foot the bill. So you feel like, well, fuck you guys. Like, fuck you guys. You're screwing us over either way. And it's a tough situation. I don't understand why people complain about no more disc. Where was all the same outrage when CD-ROM/DVD disc disappeared? Well, You're right though. Why weren't people so upset about CD-ROMs or even VCRs, right? Is anyone old enough to remember VCRs? Any old geezers in here? Where are my geriatric gamers at? Right? Who's got arthritis? Type 1 in chat. And there wasn't as much outrage. VCRs, VCRs were I had a bunch of VCR tapes back in the day. Where was the outrage around cassette tapes? I used to drive around in a Mazda, and in order to listen to music, you took a cassette tape and you put the cassette tape into the middle console there, and it would play music. That's how you listen to music. That's not a thing anymore. Where was the outrage for that? And the reason why there isn't the same outrage for that, there is some people that enjoy that. Like there's people that play music on the record players, right? On that stuff, the vinyl. So there is some desire for that still, right? But the outrage wasn't the same because the culture wasn't built around it. Like the culture of ownership of your game and trading in your game was a really big thing for me as a kid. And I just want the opportunities for the next generation of kids that are coming up playing games to be there for them too. Like, I feel like and I guess maybe it will be there in some ways. It'll just be in a digital storefront instead. Like there'll be Steam sales or something, right? So I'm not saying that opportunity is completely stripped and gone, but at least in my time, I was able to physically go down to a GameStop as a kid. I remember this distinctly. Like, I remember I woke up on Christmas. This is the story, okay? Listen, I'm telling the whole story. I wake up on what day was it? When did the PlayStation 1 come out? North America, 1995? Wow. I would have been, what year would that have been? I would have been 8 years. I would have been 1999. I wake up. It's Christmas Day, 1998, I believe it was. I'm a little kid, right? A kid that loves gaming. And my dad takes three $100 bills, and him just being an absolute goofball, he ties them to the Christmas tree to like a branch buried deep in the tree. And he's like, it's an Easter egg hunt, I guess, which is, I've never seen an Easter egg hunt like this. Dollar bills are green. The tree is green. I'm sitting there searching. He's like, your Christmas present is in the tree. And I'm like, I'm looking under the tree. There's nothing under the tree. I'm like, we must be poor because fucking Santa hates me or something. I'm looking under the tree. No presents. He's like, it's in the tree. I'm like, in the tree? I was like, this is a fake tree. It's not even a real tree. How is there's not like a shelf in there or something? I'm shifting through the branches. Finally, he gives up and he just points to the branch. And I'm like, oh, and there's three $100 bills rolled up there. I pull the three $100 bills off the branch. I slide it off that branch, the little bristles, the little fake tree bristles. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm like, I'm holding this money, man. I'm like, whoa, whoa. And they're like, where are you going to spend it? And I'm like, we're going to the mall. We are going to Electronics Boutique, and I am buying a PlayStation 1 right now. I am buying a PlayStation 1 right this instant. Get your clothes on. We are going to the store. And we do. We get the clothes on. We start walking down the street. We got to walk all the way down the street, across multiple blocks. We finally land at the store, the mall. And we walk in that Electronics Boutique, dude. There was a little section there where they let you test out the consoles. They had like a Dreamcast set up there. I think they had like a boxing game. And the guy had like a big afro. I'm trying to remember what game that was. But I walk in and I'm like, dude, I'm like looking around. There's shelves. They're way higher than me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to buy a PlayStation 1 and I'm going to buy as many games as humanly possible. with my $300. I think the PlayStation 1 was $100. I bought some extra controllers so I could invite my friends over. I had to buy a controller adapter thing because I think they only let you plug 2 controllers into it originally, but I wanted to play with like more than 2 people, so I like bought this adapter thing. I bought extra controllers. These things are expensive too. I bought some games. I maxed out my $300, went home, played a ton of games. And then as soon as my games, like as soon as I played through those games, I would take them back and I would trade them in. You know what I'm saying? Ready to Rumble? Dude, that's the game. Ready to Rumble. That's the game. That was crazy. I would take the games and trade them back in. And I kept doing that. And I was able to, and obviously it's a, you know, it has diminishing returns every time you bring your game back to the video game store, right? Like they don't give you the best return. So like eventually you're not going to have very many games left. But at least you get to turn them in and continue to play more games. And that's what we did. We just kept trading them in. And my cousins, they lived across the street from me, and their parents got them for Christmas a Nintendo 64. And I was like, what is this? This controller's insane. I didn't even think about getting this thing. They got the Nintendo 64, and they had Mortal Kombat and a bunch of crazy games. Dude, this was and when they played their games, when they were done playing their games, we took them, ejected the cartridge, went down to the mall, and traded them in for other games like Cruisin' USA. Did anyone play that game? Cruisin' USA? We were all about that game for a bit. That was awesome. It's basically what happened to Destiny. So many different people worked on it. It's gone. Now one person can't even code it. Too many cooks, as we call it. Yeah. Yeah, ready to rumble, man. So it's fine, though. You know, the games, I feel like it's going to happen. Even if we protest against it, it's going to happen. Cruising USA and Cruising the World, dude, loved my N64. Yes. Yeah, we were playing that game like crazy, man. And so it's going to happen anyways, the digital stuff. So it's like you can fight against it, but it's over and done with. It's going to happen, but we're not going to let it happen without a fight. We're going to protest it. All right, here we go. Controversy around Marathon's matchmaking? Oh no. We got to see what we're cooking up today here. I haven't checked in on Marathon in a while, and I want to see what people are talking about over there. So let's see what Seraph Max has to say in regards to the Marathon matchmaking drama.
This is probably the most controversial and least understood aspect of Marathon right now. I'm going to talk about what we know about matchmaking with real sources from the devs themselves. Then the arguments against and for skill-based or level-based matchmaking, and why people's feelings around these issues are so strong. I'm Seraph, I don't waste any of your time. Let's get right into it. What we know. What do we actually know about how matchmaking is done in Marathon? We only have a few bits of info based on interviews with the developers. Here are those bits.
It's such an interesting thing when we talk about matchmaking, because we as the consumer, the player, right, we reduce it down to something that's simple and easily digestible. Connection-based matchmaking, meaning people in your area that also have good internet, right? Connection-based. And then skill-based, which is not necessarily people in your area, but people hopefully close to you, so that way you still have decent connection, but people of similar skill that's based on that algorithm. Those are kind of the two different styles. Of course, there's other factors that contribute to this. And as we see other games increase in complexity with, you know, PvP and PvE elements in it, as we see games change, like a game like Marathon, where you have a hierarchy of different power, like someone roaming around with a gray shield or a white shield should probably never match someone with a gold shield. Like the power differential there is so ridiculously unfair that it's probably not a good idea. But then again, you have to match the other people. So it's like, maybe you should at some point, but God, that's an unfair matchup in so many ways.
The assistant game director of Marathon stated, "There's not going to be a skill-based matchmaking based on skill, but there's going to be matchmaking based on your runner level." So basically, it's not skill-based matchmaking, it's level-based matchmaking. They also stated that during the beginning of Season 2, newer players would be matched mostly with other new players.
Just as a side note, his gun is like trembling and shaking, and it's driving me insane. What is this? I have not played this game in a while. I think I missed out on something. Something weird is happening here. It's distracting me.
Also in Season 2, they stated that they were implementing a new system, especially for higher end players, that would allow more
He's
flex
charging it up. That's what it is. Okay, continue.
and lead to better quality matches with those higher skill players. That is all we actually know. Everything else is speculation and educated guesses. But now I'm going to lay out the different arguments for level-based and skill-based matchmaking. I know people have really strong opinions here. If you land on one side or the other side after this, please leave a comment down below. I would love to hear your perspective. So first of all, let's start out with level-based matchmaking. What is it? And remember that this is the one that is mostly implemented in Marathon right now. The idea behind level-based matchmaking is basically that your player level, which is based a lot on your playtime and how much stuff you've done in the game, that determines who you've matched with. So if you're a higher level player, you'll be matched with other higher level players who have played a lot of the game and who have completed a lot of stuff in the game. If you're a lower level player, maybe newer or less experienced, you'll be matched with other lower level players. Like literally level-based matchmaking is taking the number next to your name and matching it up with a similar number on other people's names. There's some flex in there for sure. In fact, Marathon has quite a lot of flex, but that's generally what the matchmaking is based on.
And a game like Marathon will need to have a lot of flex because it doesn't have a ton of population to support it, right? Like if some random guy gets his level up to 300 and he's the only one there, then of course he's going to match the person that's in second and third and fourth if they're even online that day, right? Like it's going to have to match up with someone. It can't just, throw you out there PvE only because you leveled up so far.
So that's level-based matchmaking. So what is good about level-based matchmaking? Why is it the one that's implemented right now in Marathon? So first of all, it's simple and it's easy to understand. Matchmaking can be really complicated. Having it tied to your player level, it's easy to know where you stand. The other reason it can be really good is because it can make games feel more varied and more memorable. You'll end up with lobbies where there are really good players in there, or mostly really low skill players, or just a few really good players and lots of really bad players. Basically, every match will feel much more different with this system because it's not based on skill, right? It's just based on your level. So you'll get a lot more tension between people trying to do different things. It'll feel a lot more like an ecosystem. Some people trying to do contracts, some people just trying to PvP. Everybody on different levels doing different things. It can feel more dangerous, more dynamic.
I think that matching people based on the level, like if you're going to do some sort of matchmaking parameters, which I guess we've just normalized by now, which I still remember the days of old where it was the wild west. Everyone matched everyone. I guess level based is not the most unfair. Like this person has played and leveled up as much as you have. There's always been this weird element, especially in Destiny that we talked about a while ago, where if you are loading into the Crucible to beat bounties and someone else is loading into the Crucible just to pub stomp and drop a we ran and run the most min-maxed, hunter loadout, jumping in the air, being crazy, it feels very weird matching them, right? Like you're out there, you're like, hey, I need to get kills with my fusion rifle, or I have to get kills with my solar grenade or something. Like this is bounties we used to do back in the day. It felt really odd that you were in the same environment as someone else and their objective is to like sweat it out and go way too crazy, but you're just there doing like a casual, like I'm just trying to get some XP. Like those conflicting objectives create such a unique dilemma within modern day PvP games. Like back in the day, back in my day, we're going to old geezer 10p here. I played a ton of Call of Duty, and you would load into a Call of Duty game like Team Deathmatch or whatever it may be. And you were just loading in to play and just run and gun and kill as many people as you possibly could. And that was it. Like the goal was just get as many kills as possible. And there was really no other secondary objective as far as I knew. Maybe the only other objective added was get a tactical nuke later on. But aside from get a tactical nuke, there really wasn't anything else. It was just run around, kill as many people as possible. And then eventually you had game battles get incorporated into it, which is like competitive and esports. So then suddenly, your KD matters maybe because people will, review you based on your KD. So you can compare your KD to others to see if you're one of the best, right? And then eventually it started to change, what your objectives were changed from just running and shooting your gun to beating these bounties, beating these quests, beating these objectives, leveling up this weapon, playing esports, playing competitively. Like, it's changed a lot. The landscape has changed drastically. It used to be so much simpler though. And I'm not sure if the change is bad. It gives people more agency or more uniqueness to their play styles. But there is a certain nostalgia I have for the simplicity of gaming all those years ago, right? Nowadays, it's like there's like literal PhD level analysis of just the matchmaking parameters of Marathon. And I'm like, I think we maybe missed the plot a little bit, Not this guy specifically, but like gaming in general. Like I think we missed the plot and we're getting too into the weeds of it, and we're like, we need to assess the exact level of every person online right now and make sure that we match everyone with the according level and the comparable kill death ratio and similar bounties and similar playtime sessions and similar levels and shields. They have to have a similar shield and gear score and the similar number of cryo archive completions compared to attempts. And it's like all of this like computing and like doing all these things just to make sure that people play longer, right? That's what it is. It's a whole psychological analysis of like, how do we manipulate people to play the game longer, right? How do we bamboozle them into playing this game as long as possible? And it just feels like so odd. You're like, what? We used to just play the damn games because they were good. And when we were done playing, we were done playing. There wasn't any FOMO. And it was just, you played until you were bored. And that was about it. The days of old, dude.
This is the opposite of something like Call of Duty or Battlefield, where the games can feel a lot more similar and less memorable because almost every gunfight, the idea is to match you up with people who are also 50-50 with you, who are in the same skill bracket as you. With this system, it can feel like the game is a little more flavorful, a little more crazy, dynamic, and memorable. That's what's good about it. But what is bad about this system? Why do some people really want it to change? So what's good about it is also kind of what's bad about it. You can get matched into lobbies where people are much more skilled than you. Since the matchmaking is not based on skill, it's not skill-based matchmaking, it's level-based matchmaking. It means that sometimes your team is simply going to be the lowest skill team on the map, and you are almost certainly going to lose through no real fault of your own. It can feel really unfair, and you can also get on a really unlucky streak.
That's the problem, is that feeling of unfair, right? We set these matchmaking parameters under the guise of equality and fairness in our gaming experience. The problem is that standard is never really met. Like, and it feels like maybe we do push it in a better direction for some. Like, there's probably people out there that are really, really bad, like Daruz, right? Like Daruz is so bad at the game, at every game he ever played, that like we probably shouldn't match him against the Defizzles of the world, the Grenader Jakes, the sweaty, really good people of the world, because he's just going to lose every single time. Maybe Drew's needs to match other people. Maybe Drew's needs to match bots, right? Like just literal bots that don't even shoot back. That's his only chance of actually getting a kill. Separating those pools does feel a little like, hey, that gives people a chance, right, to actually get a feel for the game in some ways. But there is an element of like a Daruz, right, a potato going out there, getting smoked, and then loading into the next game, and he matches other people that are not as sweaty, right? That's kind of the way it went for me back in the day. I used to match people, and I would get destroyed once in a while. I had a tactical nuke dropped on me every now and again, whether it was through skilled gameplay or cheese. Sometimes people had some cheesy strats, and you were just like, "Fuck, that was crazy," right? Like, there's an element of it doesn't have to be there. I don't think you're going to get that equality as much as you want. And if you're seeking equality, you're almost like bypassing the whole point. It's supposed to just be like fun in some ways. I do feel like we've overanalyzed games to some degree. What's that called when you go to the doctor's office and they prescribe you too much? What is that called? What is it called when you go to a doctor's office or a hospital and they just keep prescribing you or keep diagnosing you with more stuff? over-diagnosis or over-medicalization, right? Like they just keep throwing, oh, maybe you have this, maybe you have that, maybe this, maybe that. And it's just like, at a certain point, it's just like, all right, a game's a game, dude. If you like them, you'll play them. And if you don't, you won't at a certain point, right?
Though your player level may match the player levels of others, you may end up being the lowest skill team in a map 10 games in a row. That starts to feel really bad. The other issue with the system,
it comes back to this point that I've heard before, which is a game that's made for everyone is a game that's made for no one, right? And the problem is they're trying to make these games for everyone, where everyone can play them and everyone likes them, and everyone should play this game. Marathon, everyone should like this game. We want everyone to play this game. We want everyone to enjoy it. They want the inclusion, right? And I'm not saying against inclusion necessarily, but you lose the identity of what it means for the game in general when you just make it a game for everyone. It's not really a game for anyone at that point.
with level-based matchmaking is that much of the late game of Marathon, so Cryo Archive, it's very PvP focused, or at least it's really hard to avoid PvP, but there are many ways to get to a high level in Marathon without PvPing. You could play a million Rook runs, and you would be in the same lobby as someone who gets a ton of kills. So what can happen is it can feel like you bricked your account because you got a high level sneaking around or scavenging, playing friendly or doing a lot of the PvE content, and then put into lobbies with other really strong PvP players who are just of a similar level to you. So that's the positives and negatives of level-based matchmaking. Remember, that's the one that's in Marathon mostly right now. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, finding it interesting, consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it, and hey, it helps not miss anything. And join the Discord, the link is in the description. Find your crew, it'll be great. That's all, let's keep going. So skill-based matchmaking. This is the main alternative to level-based matchmaking. What is skill-based matchmaking? Basically, skill-based matchmaking is putting people in a lobby who all have a similar level of skill. How do you determine skill? Well, that's tricky, and it depends on a lot of different stuff. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that it's possible to figure out what someone's skill level is and put them in a lobby with other people of that skill level. So everyone who's good at ambushing, killing, extracting, they're all put in a lobby together. High level or low level, it doesn't matter. Just whoever is good at the game gets put in one lobby. Everyone who is newer, less experienced, maybe not as good at the game, they're put in other lobbies. So what are the positives of skill-based matchmaking, and why do people talk about adding it to Marathon? The main reason is that fights are more fair. Fights you take are generally going to be 50-50, whether you win or lose. You will rarely get stomped on by other teams who are simply better than you. This is the biggest argument for skill-based matchmaking. One of the
This is the biggest one, right? Skill-based matchmaking, the fights will be more fair. The part that I argue against with skill-based matchmaking is that when you lose your fight, it doesn't really matter if you lost to Defizzle or if you lost to Daruz, you still lost your fight. Like, the goal is still, the end result is the same. So this idea of like, oh, well, it'll feel better or I'll be okay with it doesn't actually exist. Like, this is a non-issue in some ways. Like, you will lose some of your gunfights in a game. You will lose. Like, you got to get accustomed to losing in games. You're going to lose sometimes, and whether it's, like you said, Defizzle, one of the best players in the world, or if it's Daruz, literally the worst player to ever play a video game in the history of video games, you're going to lose. It happens sometimes. Sometimes a Daruz walks up behind you with a shotgun, and they click the button, and you die. And when you die, you're frustrated equally, no matter who it was that pulled the trigger. It doesn't matter because you died, and you have to just accept that that's a video game. And that you die sometimes and you lose stuff and it sucks. In an extraction shooter, at least. In the other games, you don't lose anything, right? You just respawn in and play again. And I feel like there's this idea of like, well, let's make it so that way people never lose. And when you do that, you just take away the value of playing the game in the first place because you just water it all down. It's supposed to be hardcore. It's supposed to be a little bit ruthless. That's what makes it fun. It's supposed to be a little bit wild, right? That's the appeal in the first place. And so they're trying to apply all of these algorithms and these systems and put all of this data into this crazy computational algorithm that will match make you with the most perfect possible outcome. And it's like, no, you still die sometimes. Like you will. So it's like the whole thing feels like a farce to me in some ways because I personally, and you can disagree, I personally think gaming was better before all of this. all this matchmaking stuff is a whole bunch of gobbledygook that is not really enhancing games. The problem is, though, they do these researches, they do these studies, and they show that the average play session time increases when a Daruz matches against other Daruz level people. So a Daruz will play on average longer play session times if he matches other terrible people at the game, right? So they're trying to manipulate this thing so that way. But the problem is that once you figure that out, you're like, there's got to be an element of like, once you figure that out, you're like, hey, wait a minute. I'm matching people that are literally walking into the walls and shit. It's like, they're just matching against the other bad people. Like it takes away some of that fun, some of that thrill, and some of that excitement of what the outcome is going to be. I think there's an interesting element of like RNG of like, you don't know who you're going to match. You could match the worst players or the best players or a combination of both. And that's just how gaming is. Like it's like there's a gambling element to it where it's like you roll the dice when you click launch on a game and you don't know who you're going to match. You don't know what's going to happen. When it's all premeditated and formulated and curated so that way you have the most average possible experience no matter what game you play, it's fucking boring, dude. It's just boring. All the games are the same then. They're all the same. You're going to match someone like this every time in every game. And I don't know. I just don't think it's as interesting. I like the days of old, dude. Maybe I'm just an old dinosaur and maybe this is where it's at. Maybe we should spend, all these millions of dollars on all this assessment to make sure that Druzes play the game an hour or two every night. But I really think that it was better. Just make the game launch and whoever you match, that's who you fucking match, dude. Just fuck it. Just whoever you match, that's who you match. Sometimes you'll win, sometimes you'll lose. Maybe you'll get a lot of losing, but you'll learn from it, When I first started playing games, I was terrible. I mean, I was terrible. I didn't know how to aim. I still don't. By some people's, you can see some clips online. You're like, hey, what is this guy doing? I was terrible. And losing over and over and over again gave me a reason to get better. If you load in your first game, you win because you matched other bots that are bad. You're like, oh, I'm just already the fucking goat of this game. It's like you started and on your first day of playing basketball, you're LeBron James now. And it's like the whole ascension, the whole hard work to get up there is bypassed because the matchmaking has decided, you're just going to match people of your similar skills. So you're going to win your first game ever playing. It's like, maybe you shouldn't win your first game. Maybe you shouldn't win your first 5 games. Maybe you shouldn't win your first 10 games. And wildly unpopular opinion, in a competitive game, a sweaty game, maybe you shouldn't even win your first 100 games, and that's the way it goes. You got to learn, you got to adapt, you got to get better. You got to understand how the game works. You got to understand the mechanics. And have fun losing even, You can have fun losing a game. I played a ton of Fortnite when it first came out, and I lost most of those games. Fortnite was so much fun when it first came out. I didn't know how to play mouse and keyboard when that game came out. I did not know. I was a controller player for 13 years, so I was learning mouse and keyboard while playing Fortnite, while doing all those crazy builds, like you put a wall up, you put a ramp up, you edit it. I was learning all of that at the same time. I was terrible, dude. I lost 99% of games, but I had so much fun losing every game, dude. I had so much fun. The losing never bothered me because the game was fun. So I think that's the magic of gaming, but unfortunately that's lost in all of this today.
Main things that can make people quit a game is a huge loss streak, especially one where you feel like you never really had a chance. If you never had a chance to win, why would you load into another game? This system works to prevent that. The other reason people talk about adding this to Marathon is because it has proven player retention. There are studies that show that adding skill-based matchmaking to your game causes players to stick around more. Matches feel closer, people feel like they can improve, and they keep playing it. And it's basically why all these big shooters do it, because fairness is really important in games that are considered competitive. So if this matchmaking system has all these positive things about it, what is bad about it? Why wouldn't you want this in your game? Why didn't they add it to Marathon? Probably the main reason is because it makes games feel more similar and less memorable. There is objectively less variety in your gaming experience.
We're basically regressing back to the days of old and we don't even realize it. We push so far forward, right, with the progression of equality and fairness and all of this in the game's matchmaking algorithms. And now we're like, hey, wait a minute. games aren't as fun when we do this. Let's go back. And we're taking 2 steps backwards with this, and eventually we'll just go full swing, all the way back to the beginning, I imagine, but for at least some games, maybe not marathon, but for some games.
Sure, you'll rarely have those games where you get stomped on by a way better team, but you'll also never have those games where you feel like a god wiping out the whole lobby. That will happen way more rarely. Every fight feels like a 50-50, and games blend into each other a little more. One of the things that makes Marathon so distinct is this lack of skill-based matchmaking. It makes each game feel really, really different. The other negative aspect of this system is that skill is really hard to determine. What is skill? But Bungie will have to implement some kind of thing that captures what a player's skill is. And if you
I think that skill is not that hard to determine in some ways. Like mostly it's your KD, right? Like 50% of skill based matchmaking, it's got to be your KD. How many times do you kill someone versus how many times do you die, right? And then after skill, it comes down to accuracy. So how often do you land your shots versus miss your shots? And then precision accuracy versus crit accuracy, right? And that's the bulk of it most of the time, right? If you can shoot your gun and most of the bullets are hitting the guy, you're pretty good. If you shoot your gun and it looks like Daru's and you miss everything and it goes left and right and your aim is up in the sky shooting clouds, like, what I'm saying? You're not very good, and that's it. You're going to lose most of your gunfights. That's how it goes. Right? Daru's is catching a lot of strays today.
You are a player who plays in an unusual way, different from the majority of people, or different from the statistic that Bungie uses to determine skill, you will still be put in the wrong lobbies. For example, if Bungie just used player damage to determine your skill, then people who stay at long range and repeatedly down the same enemies over and over and get them picked up over and over again, those players would be of the highest skill. If Bungie used runner downs to determine your player skill, then pretty much everyone who plays pushing characters like Vandal or Destroyer, they would be of the higher skill bracket. Basically, what I'm saying is it's really hard to account for all the different ways the players can be skillful, and whatever system they implement will leave some players behind. Some players will be in lobbies where they are always outskilled because they have a weird playstyle. And the third reason not to implement skill-based matchmaking, and this is especially true for Marathon, is that it makes gear even more important. This isn't strictly a negative because using gear, finding gear, and choosing when to take it with you, that is also a fun and interesting part of the game. But since everybody is roughly of the same skill level, it means gear is the determining factor in fights. So that is basically both sides of the argument. Again, I would really like to hear where you stand on it. I think it's really interesting to think about and to try to figure out where Marathon might go in the future. Here, I'm going to go through some speculation.
I think he has a good assessment of the situation. There's obviously a lot of complexity if you're going to try and put someone's skill in a quantifiable number, right? And it would be really cool to see what it actually says on the other side. Could you imagine how funny it would be if there was like a list that was exposed of like the back end, API of skill-based matchmaking, and so you could like see, let's say that like on a 10 of the skill-based matchmaking parameters, at a 10.0 is that's going to be your defizzles, right? Someone that plays the game a lot, wins a lot of gunfights, wins a ton, right? There's going to be your defizzles. At the 0 parameter is going to be the Daruzes, right? Loses every gunfight, loses every match, can't land a shot to save his life, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, right? This guy, he would miss a shotgun shot even if he was barrel stuffing the guy. Somehow he'd figure it out. Right. So you got the 10, and then it would show in between, it would show where everyone else lands. Where do you land? What does Bungie rate you as? Are you a 7.4 or are you a 2.8? Could you imagine the expose? That would be so funny to see if there was like an actual number that was attributed to your name and to your skill-based matchmaking rating, right? So funny to think about even.
These are educated.
Yeah, Drew's couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
Guesses I have about Marathon's matchmaking. First of all, I can definitely feel the level-based matchmaking in play. When I play with newer players on my team, the people we're matched against are definitely new. But I think people who say that Marathon's matchmaking is purely level-based are almost certainly wrong. Matchmaking is one of the most important parts of your games, especially if you're a shooter. There's no way they're basing it on just one statistic. The systems that are built around matchmaking can be incredibly complex. So here are some things they probably do. Loss streaks, this is a common one. Basically, you get put in easier lobbies if you've lost a bunch of games in a row. There is probably some form of skill-based matchmaking in Marathon right now. It just might not be a major factor, but how often you win your fights or if you have achieved your level in some other way, there's probably some piece of it that is this. And then there's also probably some form of gear-based matchmaking, because players can become really unhappy when they get destroyed by players with better shield or better gear than them. So there's probably some factor that incorporates that. But I want to emphasize that all of these factors, there's a lot of flex in them. And by that, I mean someone can be above your level by a certain amount, lower than your level by a certain amount, have less gear, more gear. Bungie just determines where those bookends end. But overall, just anecdotal.
Part of the problem with matchmaking in general is when you have like an extreme outlier like myself, like when you're just so good at the game that like the matchmaking doesn't know what to do with you. Like you never, like when, for me, right? Like I never lose a gunfight. I never miss my shots. I never lose a match. I always exfil. I can 1v3 even the best players. I can solo the raids, right? It's like when you're just so good, when you're just the reflection of perfection, it's like, how do they even like put you in a matchmaking algorithm? Like where are they going to put you? Like you're just too good, you know? It's a really big problem for me and for companies like Bungie.
Based on my opinion and my experience, it does feel like level is the most important factor. And then here are just a few final thoughts. There is no perfect matchmaking system. Please try to think of a competitive shooter where people are like, that shooter, wow.
There is the perfect matchmaking system, and the perfect matchmaking system is no system. No system. The wild, wild west, baby. If you load in to a match, you match other people around the world, and you don't know who they are. They could be good. They could be bad. You don't know. It doesn't matter. You're probably going to match some people relatively close to you, so that way the connections are good. Like that's kind of the most important part, right? Like I don't really want to match someone from Uzbekistan, right? Like the distance is too far. The connections are not going to be very good. We're going to be rubber banding around. It's not fun. Like I want to match someone, you know, like I'm on the East Coast of America, right? So like anyone on the East Coast of America, right? There should be a good matchup, right? Well, the bullets will connect appropriately. You know, the matchmaking queue time should be pretty fast, etc. Like that's kind of the gist of it. No matchmaking, that's the best. That's the hill I die on. That, or maybe age-based matchmaking. I guess maybe I could tie that back in now. We'll come back to that in a minute.
Matchmaking system, so good. It is almost always a pain point in the community. So some final questions to think about. Would making games feel more similar but be more fair be a good trade-off for Marathon? Is matchmaking something that even needs to be changed? Is it the most important and pressing issue? And of course, where do we as the community stand? We are the ones who are actually playing Marathon. So make your opinion heard. All of it, that's for you to decide. Let me know in the comments what you think. I hope you've enjoyed this breakdown.
All right, there it is. That is a breakdown from Seraph Max. And again, another great video from him. This guy is always producing really high level, really intriguing Marathon content. If you like Marathon, definitely subscribe to him. But yeah, breakdown is the matchmaking controversies in Marathon. It's hard for them to figure out what to do. This is the issue, right? It was the wild, wild west in gaming and first-person shooting, Call of Duty, those games. And then the problem was that people were complaining, you know, people got onto Reddit and they said, you know, wah, I match, you know, the Call of Duty esports guys or whatever. And so they started to do some studies and they started to experiment. They started tinkering, right? And this is where everything went wrong. This is where it all went downhill. And once they started tinkering, they found out that they could increase the play session time of players by manipulating the matchmaking algorithms so that you matched people of similar skill above everything. And that was the beginning of the end, dude. That was opening Pandora's box. And since then, it has been the lament of many, but others like it, actually. I mean, here's the thing. If you're in the bottom half of skillful players, right? Like if you're just, you know, you're not really trying and you're not very good at shooting your gun or anything, right? You're probably like, hey, I like it. You know, I like the game being a little bit more chill. I like matching older people like me, perhaps even, or less skilled people, and that's perfectly fine. So people are always going to vote for what benefits them the most. Apparently, this increases play session time, but I do miss some of the ingredients and the elements that are lost in a modern context by manipulating matchmaking. And one of those was having like aspirational goals that no longer exist anymore? Like, do you understand how when I played Call of Duty, I was really bad, and then I eventually got up to like not esports level. Like I never went to an actual esports LAN tournament, but I did like online esports tournaments and like professional qualifiers. So I went from a level of being terrible up to getting decently good in Call of Duty because I had something to aspire towards and you had something to grind towards. And it didn't start with esports or anything like that. It just started with trying to get better at the game. If you have skill-based matchmaking, though, there is no incentive to ever get better at the game because you will, if you go up to the next bracket of skill, then you just match those. Like, you know, say you'll always match people of equal skill. It doesn't make any sense then. Like there's no aspiration anymore. The aspiration is completely killed. It's over. It's done with. Like just play the game and you don't have to worry about getting better anymore. Getting better doesn't serve you in any way. If you get better, then you have to match better people. So if anything, you don't want to get better. Now you got, if you got too good, okay, now you got to start matching the defizzles of the world. Yeah, might not work out well for you, especially they're online all the time playing. And if you got a job, you know, you're going to be at a big disadvantage in that situation. So maybe you don't want to get more skilled, right? So I think that creating these matchmaking algorithms has had a net negative on that particular aspect, but a net positive on, I guess, play session times in general. So it's a double-edged sword, right? It's something that's very nuanced and people are going to have opinions one way or the other. And you're not wrong. Most people will just vote for the thing that benefits them the most, just like in everything in life, right? People that benefit from skill-based matchmaking will say, yay, I love that, I want that. And people that don't, or people that appreciated a time before that, will vote for the opposite, right? So it's kind of the way it goes down. But let me know what you think about it down in the comment section below. Great video from Seraph. All right. I got to go to the bathroom, chat. I will be right back. 1 second. Movement is shit as well. What's the movement? I came in a little late, Mr. Commentary. Are you playing Marathon? I have played 150 hours Marathon. I'm not playing any right now. We were just watching this video about the matchmaking. Someone said, are you going to play the game? I am going to load in and play Destiny 2 once I fix this stuttering issue. I can't even play the game right now. I'm waiting for this damn update. My game stutters every time I sprint in Iron Banner. I can't even play. What do you want me to do? You want me to run around? I can't even shoot my damn gun properly because my game's freaking feels like I'm getting kicked in the back of the head every 5 seconds. It's terrible. I'll be right back. All right, we are back, my dudes. We are back. Young Law says, play some marathon? Dog, I can't be caught playing marathon. I'll be behind enemy lines, dude. I'll get jumped in the streets. If I'm playing marathon, I have to play it like this, dude. Hello there. New streamer. I wanted to check out what this marathon is all about. I can't be caught playing marathon, dude. I'm deep behind enemy lines, dude. And that's why you shouldn't want a D3 by Bungie. So, like, yeah. I'm hoping they make like a... Sony makes like a spin-off studio. I think that's best case scenario. List off the 10 most viral and interesting video game news stories in the last week. Let's see what's cooking up over here, chat. We're pulling up a new window with new tabs. We're already 5 windows deep with 100 tabs on each window. We're going for the world record most tabs opened. I want you to keep playing Destiny 2. Keep at it. That's what I'm saying. As soon as my stuttering gets fixed, I'll play. The only solution I found is that I have to download a Microsoft account. That is not helpful. It is not at all helpful. Brazilian lawmaker Erica Hilton is taking a stand against Sony's end of discs announcement, announcing sending the issue to Brazil's Consumer Protection Agency and calling for Sony to be investigated. Oh, they ain't fucking around. Hilton says people pay extra for PlayStation consoles with disc drives, so moving away from physical games raises consumer rights concerns. That's a good one. Hey, did I miss a sub? Oh shit, I might have missed a few subs. Oh, Tony Hayabusa has gifted one. Let's go. W's in the chat for Tony Hayabusa. Appreciate you, bud. She believes Sony should be investigated if the company releases games only in digital format to push more people towards digital-only consoles. She also wants game publishers to be clearer about digital ownership so players know exactly what they own when they buy a digital game. Damn. There's a lot of pushback right now. Samsung, Micron, through the semiconductor industry group SEMI, are asking the U.S. government not to step into the memory chip market. In the letter to U.S. officials, the group said, interventions that distort pricing or capacity decisions risk prolonging the demand downturn. Instead, SEMI suggested tax breaks for electronic buyers and support for long-term supply agreements to boost demand. The group believes these steps would help the memory chip market recover without government interference in prices or production. Oh. We got to find a way to make these components cheaper, that's for sure. Even IGN roasted Sony, saying that even digital games aren't really safe and that players are losing real ownership as PlayStation moves towards a digital-only future. It's kind of interesting. If you own the physical game, right? Like if someone logs into my Steam library, they can like literally steal everything. I guess someone can break into your house and steal your physical game collection too. But people can like digitally hack you, right? And then you lose everything. Versus losing maybe one game. I'm not sure. It's an interesting dilemma here. The article says buying a digital game doesn't mean you'll own it forever and points to past cases where Sony removed digital movies. Yeah. Cyberpunk has sold more than 40 million copies worldwide. God damn. They're hiring too, so I bet you some of the Bungie devs will be looking for work over there. After Sony deleted that 500 plus movies from people counts, I don't trust anything digital. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people feel that same way. PlayStation fans are massively canceling their PlayStation Plus subscriptions to protest Sony's move towards a digital-only future. Oh, they're protesting for different reasons, right? Us Destiny 2 players are over here like, yeah, we know what it's like with Sony. Sony killed our favorite game. And now everyone's mad at them for an entirely different reason. And that's this physical, like they might actually have to give a response to this. This is all the news is right now. Like no one is even talking about anything that isn't this. Yep, the Tim Sweeney talking about that. It's crazy. Tim Sweeney said that Destiny 2 could have been saved by AI. What a time to be alive, huh? Valve has officially released the files needed to build the Steam Machine's e-ink front display called the Inkterface. The DIY kit includes 3D printable files, a complete bill of materials, step-by-step assembly instructions, an office build video. What is this? How funny is that? It's got like the process and the BIOS in here and the processing, like the GPU, the percentage in e-ink. Interesting. According to Billy at Deal Labs, Xbox canceled an ad campaign in early 2025 that compared physical and digital games. The 42-second ad asked physical versus digital games, which is best for you. It then explained the benefits of both formats. For physical games, Xbox highlighted owning your own copy, buying limited and collector's editions, and being able to lend or share games with friends. For digital games, the ad focused on pre-installing games before launch, switching between games more easily, and getting access to digital-only editions. Those trade-offs are not worth it, dude. Pre-installing is, I mean, it saves a little bit of time. Switching games more easily, I mean, you pop the disc out and pop a different one in, I guess. It's like it saves a little bit of time. So it's like 2 time save things, and getting access to digital-only editions. What does that even, that's like, doesn't even mean anything. The ad ended with the question of what will you choose, showing that Xbox wanted players to decide which format they preferred. They never released that commercial though, huh? Now, I love Destiny. I've been a diehard since the beta on Destiny 1, but in my opinion, the loss of physical discs is going to have a massively larger impact on gaming as a whole. It seems like the trends are going towards digital. I don't know how much this is going to hurt the games industry. It's hard to say right now. It sucks though. It's a shitty time. All right, let's see what other news we got here. The Destiny 2 team has posted nothing. We got D1 on a disc will become a unicorn in a decade. Think about that. I know I have my D1 disc here. I don't even have the case anymore. I don't know where the case went. This is hilarious. Someone said, quote, I only buy digital, so this doesn't affect me. It's Kermit getting strangled. Oh, no. Oh, man. What's Paul Tassi chirping about today? The final trailer for The Odyssey has now received 230,000 dislikes and 50,000 likes on YouTube. Oh my God. Insane timeline where a Christopher Nolan movie about grizzled white dudes and beautiful women is in the too woke to watch vortex. Crazy. What did Bungie cancel? The TWID. Last week's TWID. It's going to be delayed again. A double delay to the TWID. I know you're a big MMA guy. What were your thoughts on the Freedom 250 event at the White House? It was cool. I enjoyed watching it. It was an entertaining card overall. I had a good time. I'm a big MMA fan, so it was cool to see the event get such a big spotlight, right? Fights were very good. Yeah, the outcome was pretty good. All the fights were knockouts. The first ever all knockout card. Never happened before. Is that Odyssey based on the book? I'm not sure what they based that movie on. Dude, this actually, this is crazy. This is going in the tweet Hall of Fame right here. Epic CEO Tim Sweeney, multi-billionaire, had this to say about Destiny 2's death. All right, this is the response to Paul Tassi saying why Destiny 2 died. Tim Sweeney says, if only some sort of newfangled technology could come along and make it possible to overcome bullet point number 1 and enable games like Destiny 2 thrive. Oh no. He's talking about using AI and generative AI to make the development process of Destiny 2 much cheaper, which is something we've been talking about a lot on this channel, not because we're the biggest advocates of this by any means, but because this has become the biggest conversation in gaming right now. People are trying to decide, they are debating what the future of gaming will be, and if generative AI will be accepted or be a part of it. And Tim Sweeney is like #1 AI guy. Like, this guy is the most pro AI guy out there in the world, in the gaming world, that's for sure. And he quotes this right here. He says, because of the enormous scale of content that had to be produced nonstop, lest fans revolt against its scarcity, Destiny was only very rarely profitable during its entire lifespan. Oh, God. Or their engine, not necessarily AI. No, like, make no mistake about it. That they're integrating AI into Unreal Engine 6. So he is absolutely talking about AI here. He doesn't use the words specifically, but definitely. And then you have, oh no, Dirty F and Hippie. Oh, they weigh in as well, and they say, respectfully, you very clearly don't know the Destiny community. Wow. They got 19 likes for that. So people were agreeing with them, saying that, you don't know the Destiny community, which, I mean, they're not wrong. Bungie has been very, very against the usage of AI, especially generative AI. For the most part, there is a few instances where they used this. They had a few job listings on their hiring page. The official Bungie hiring page was hiring for generative AI engineers at one point in time. They took that listing down, though, after it was publicly talked about. Not sure if that meant that they changed their opinion or not. It's hard to say. But Bungie is obviously against AI. The community at large is against AI because, it's a community built off of a lot of artists, right? And the artists definitely don't appreciate their work being stolen and used in games, right? That's a problem. Or not just in games, but in other spheres as well. That being said, though, right, to play devil's advocate for just a minute, okay? Hey, and don't light your torches and sharpen your pitchforks just yet, but if you play devil's advocate, though, right, if you're unwilling to do these things, then you just don't get to have any more Destiny 2. This is the question I posed many months ago, before Tim Sweeney, before Paul Tassi, before the death of Destiny 2. We actually asked this question months ago. And I wonder what your answer would be now that you know Destiny 2 is gone. So I'll ask the question once more. Would you rather have the current outcome we're in right now, which is Destiny 2 is dead, and we refuse to use AI to save the game by any means? Or would you have the outcome where we use AI, we use these powerful tools, we use these algorithms, and Destiny gets more years, gets more time? You get to see Shattered Cycle. You get to see the Alchemist, perhaps. And I'm not saying that is exactly how the situation is. There's obviously more nuance to it than that. But would you take that trade-off? Would you accept that? And what it would cost, just to clarify the details of what we're going over here, what it would cost would be artists being laid off and replaced by generative AI. Like, that's what it would be. And some people will say, you know what? I want more Destiny 2, and I'm okay with that. And let's march forward. And others would say, oh, hell no, we ain't doing that. We ain't laying off the artists and replacing them with Chat GPT, basically, or they're doing Unreal Engine GPT. They even had a Bungie GPT. Did you know that there was a Bungie GPT? Bungie GPT. That was a real thing that they were working on. So even if you believe that Bungie is anti-AI, triple anti, there's some people there that are curious to know what's going to happen with it, right? There's some people there that are curious to see what the future of games are going to be like. And there is a general level of, I don't know if it's misinformation, but there's a misunderstanding of what Tim Sweeney means by AI in game development. His main focus, from his own words, is that these AI tools will be used to take away the tedious procedures that devs do. So if you're out there making every little blade of grass and putting every little rock on the side of the EDZ, right, as you're in your, whatever your dev kit is, you're making the environments, right? All of that could just be generated, right? You could just you just input, make a mountain, enter, mountains made, So saves a lot of time, and then you can focus on the more creative aspects of video game development. And that's his approach, and that's his perspective, whether it's true or not, whether it's the beginning of a slippery slope where it starts there and then it quickly evolves into something more. Who knows? But that's at least the way he's represented it. So I think, for me at least, I want Destiny 2 to go forward. I wish that we got Destiny 2. I hope we get a Destiny 3. And if it's going to have the integration of AI or not, I mean, I don't get to decide that necessarily. But I feel like technology is getting more and more powerful, and we should try to do both things if possible. We should try to respect the human experience of making the art and making these creative things, while also appreciating the advancements in technology. Like, I think we can do both. I don't think it has to be so polarizing where it has to be all or nothing. Like, fuck AI. I don't ever want to see anything AI ever. Or, just everything has to be AI. Fire everyone. Every artist, go, you get a new job. You've been replaced by AI, right? Like, those are the two extremes. I think that there's a middle ground where we can kind of accomplish both, right? Real people making games using the most powerful technologies in the world, which does include AI. Hey, that's kind of where I think we're landing with it, but I could be wrong. We don't know. Only time will tell. We will have to wait to see what the future holds for the future of games and the games industry, but it's something that's being heavily debated right now, that's for sure. I mean, this has made recent headlines, and for good reason. Shouldn't they poll their community where they plan on using it? I mean, yeah, transparency is always good, of course. Yeah, if you're going to use generative AI, definitely transparency is good. There's the approach, the way in which you do it is essential, more so than the way in which how you actually use it, because the optics are most important right now. A lot of AI and what's being done with AI, it's very advanced, I would say. And so not a lot of people really understand what's going on or how it works. And so it's more important that, you educate people and make the processes that you use very clear and transparent. Communication is good on this situation. Asha Sharma, right, the Xbox CEO, she's been really adamant about AI. She literally was an AI person that became the Xbox CEO. So she's pro AI. Clearly, you can't work for Microsoft and not be pro AI at this point in time, right? And even she has said pretty openly that AI is just a tool for solving problems and nothing more. If you have a problem and AI can solve it, then use AI. If you have a problem and AI can't solve it, then you're going to have to use something else, maybe some other tool, or maybe, it's going to have to have a human solution, right? I've seen no problem with that either. It's a real big culture war happening right here. Hot take artists would not be laid off if they could just make more and faster. That's so you got these artists, right? So say you got like I don't know, let's say there's 100 artists at Bungie's art team, right? It's maybe more, maybe less. This is a purely fictional number, right? And the artists are in there working on the skyboxes and the environments and the future, this, that, and the other thing, right? And AI, I'm not saying that this is exactly how it works, but AI obviously can speed up those processes, right? It can speed all that up. And if you can get more done, then the game gets out faster. You can, if you can get done with the tasks you need to get done twice as fast, then you make twice as much content, theoretically, right? And then you make twice as much content, and the consumer's twice as happy because they're like, holy shit, you are exceeding my expectations. I thought that the game would only produce X amount of content, but now you're producing even more. Yeah, it's like it's a net positive if done right. But there's a lot of it, we're knee deep in it in this big AI dilemma right now. It's pretty crazy. The conversations continue on and on. I don't think we'll get another Destiny made by Bungie. Maybe another studio might poach all of the ex Bungie devs that worked on Destiny to make another new MMO. Maybe. It's possible. You could have it doesn't even have to be. I feel like the actual aesthetic of Destiny, it's like it's cool. It's kind of like what is Destiny's aesthetic, technically speaking? It's supposed to be like realism, but it's not hyper realism. It's not photorealism. It's like cartoon realism. And it was meant to be like post-apocalyptic, but it kind of evolved into more than that. It evolved into like I don't even know, just kind of just everything. So I feel like the actual art style of Destiny it's not bad. Like I don't hate it by any means, but it could definitely change. Like I don't hate different art styles from different games. Maybe other than Marathon. No offense to Marathon. I think that one is probably not the best. But aside from Marathon's art style, the top 10 games I see have a pretty fine art style. Like I'm not too bothered by them. But so you could easily mix up the art style. But yeah, as long as it's a first-person shooter that has MMO elements, you're pretty much good at that point. A first-person MMO, first-person shooter MMO. That's about where it's at. Imagine if the Crimson Desert Studio made the looter shooter world for a D1 remake. Yeah, that'd be awesome. They wanted to make a fantasy game originally, but they couldn't let go of their sci-fi roots, so they blended the two. Yeah, I see that now. It blended a lot of things together, which I think was cool. I do think that the product of Destiny was cool, and I liked it. I liked the aesthetic. I liked the vibe of it. There's a lot of different directions that a future Destiny game could go, or a Destiny, knockoff or variant. Like there's things that could be changed or adjusted and still be really good. I was just watching some of these games. They're called boomer shooters. They're called boomer shooters, and their aesthetic is pretty, it's pretty simplistic in some ways, but it's much easier to develop them because they don't have that. The more you put into like the graphic fidelity, it's just like the dev time goes up and up and up and up and up. Suddenly you have devs that are they wake up and spend their whole day working on this tiny little part of the game, and then the cost of the game balloons, right? So graphic fidelity is really making these games super expensive, and I think graphic fidelity is fun as long as it's like as long as the graphic fidelity is putting icing on a good cake, right? Really good graphic fidelity on a shit cake is still just a shit cake, though. And I think that's kind of where we've lost the plot with a lot of these games. We're too focused on graphic fidelity that we forgot about making the game really good and having good replayability. A 10-year story that you were the one to save Saint 14 and the Savior? Yeah. Interesting. Somebody who wrote that story didn't know that. Interesting. We probably won't get another Destiny game made by Bungie. That's true. That is true. Unfortunately, true. We got people are angry about this and they are gamers. I am an angry gamer by that definition. It's a statement of fact, not judgment. They are correct to be angry. Angry gamers, and it's people legitimately mad that they won't be able to fully own the games they buy on a $1,000 console. Sorry, but if you want to... Dude, the war between this physical media is crazy right now. I Will Find You dethroned in Netflix's top 10. X-Men 97. Yeah, this is such a large scale change that it's been in the works for so long that it was never going to be a, oh, people are mad, never mind. They changed their entire like physical production plant. So we ain't going back. They ain't going to go back on their physical disc change. I would love to play a Destiny where it took place where the Traveler first arrives. Dude, that would be insane, high tech. You just blew my mind. Wow. Imagine you play a Destiny campaign and you're literally running around, right? Imagine you play a Destiny campaign and you're literally running around like in the EDZ and then you just full die and then the fucking Traveler comes down and he resurrects you, but like you get one life beforehand. You're literally playing an extraction shooter at that point. That's what we need. The Destiny extraction shooter. What the hell is this? Oh my god. Good lord. Games are getting weird, dude. Dude, The Witness was right. We need to end this timeline. God damn. The first descendant is still alive. Oh boy. I don't know, it looks average to me. What the hell? Canceled. Let's see what Destiny Bulletin's tweeting out. Destiny Bulletin. Whole lot of nothing, dude. A whole lot of nothing. There is no way. A racehorse named Skibbity Riz has won a race in Ohio. Incredible. A pilot used their plane to draw an image of the United States in the air. What? What is Dexerto even tweeting about anymore? This isn't even about gaming anymore. Asian Andy is asking Twitch to unban him 9 years after being banned for distracted driving on stream. I regret being a fat ass and not wanting to eat my chicken nuggets at home. Oh my good lord. All right. Where we at? It's Forbes, a 2-sentence insider. Yep. Nolan North at TMG. He also said, speaking about Destiny, and he said, quote, just recorded lines like a month ago and supposes that, quote, no one will ever hear them. He also said he's very surprised Sony would do that to such a great game. Damn. Nolan North. The voice actor of... Nolan North is the voice actor of Cade, right? I just want to make sure I get that right. Like, come on. Nathan Fillion only voiced Cade in the Forsaken expansion because Nathan Fillion was unavailable due to scheduling conflicts. Nolan also voices Ghost, a role he took over from Peter Dinklage. Start thinking. Oh. Apparently Nolan North did do Cade 6, but in Forsaken only. That's crazy. The voice actor for the Ghost in Destiny 2 was very surprised to hear the news that the game died. Nolan North at TMG speaking about Destiny, and he said, quote, just recorded lines like a month ago. So it wasn't that long ago that he was recording stuff for future iterations of the game, probably talking about Shattered Cycle, which we will never see, maybe even The Alchemist, which we will never see, and supposes that, quote, no one will ever hear them. Feels bad. They should just release all the files, all the key art, everything that they had in the works in like one big drive so we could just browse through and see what they were cooking up, right? That'd be nice. He also said he was, quote, very surprised Sony would do that to such a great game. Crazy. That hurts. This is the voice of the Ghost, and he actually replaced Peter Dinklage, the OG dude. I remember that. We've awoken the hive. That was a throwback right there. That was the GOAT. But he had to actually replace him, and he actually replaced Cade while Nathan Fillion wasn't available to record for Forsaken, believe it or not. So Nolan North has been a part of the project for a while, and no more. No more. Well, we're never going to hear any more voice lines from our Ghost. I cry. Right. Did they ever release why Dingle's voice as Ghost was never released as an optional or even sold as an option, given how hungry they were? Makes sense. I don't know. All right. Got a big one here. Bungie has responded to the game-breaking stuttering issues that currently are plaguing Destiny 2. If you haven't been experiencing this, honestly, count your stars because it is horrible right now. I basically can't even play the game. I try to load in, play a match with Iron Banner, and every 5 seconds, it feels like I'm getting kicked in the back of the head. It's awful. The stuttering is out of control, and Bungie's trying to get ahead of it. They're trying to get a fix out, and DMG has responded right here saying escalating, also trying to get whatever info possible on PC frame rate / stuttering issues. And in the process, he said to share screenshots and recordings of this. So if you got them, feel free to tag them on Twitter or elsewhere. Need folks to post to the help forum or bungie.net with PC specs. If you see friends talking about that, let them know for me, okay? So that way they can diagnose exactly why it's happening. Thanks, bud. So they're on the case. They're working on it. And hopefully they get it fixed because at this stage in time, the only fix that I've seen is someone said that you need to go play the game on a Microsoft account. I'm like, what? I got to start a whole new account practically just to play the game properly. So that ain't happening. We ain't doing that. Hopefully they can fix this because leaving Destiny 2 in an unplayable state, for me, that's devastating. 25,000 hours, and now I basically can't even play the game. Dude, I'm going to be in crippling depression if that's the case. And I'm already suffering from deep levels of Destiny depression, so I don't need this. Let me know what you think about this, and let me know if you are suffering from these stuttering issues. All right. Good stuff there. Lots of news out here. Lots of news out here. Apparently this new Iron Banner set bonus is doing way too much. All right, so this is an interesting one. Bungie's, what is an epitaph? Someone's got to educate me on some. It's a short message or inscription written in memory of someone who has died. Ooh. This is interesting. This is very interesting, chat. I like this. Jason Jones answered this question. The OG, dude. Jason Jones. All right, here we go. Bungie's founder, Jason Jones, actually answered the question on what their epitaph would be. So let's buckle up. It's time to lock in. What will Bungie be remembered as? This is trending on r/Destiny the game, and it reads, after hearing the news of Jason Jones being part of the most recent Bungie layoffs, which is absolutely insane, by the way, how do you, the owner, like the founder of Bungie, get laid off? Like, I get it. Sony bought them. They have the ability to lay you off. Maybe you chose to leave, right? The fact that you're a part of all of this, though, is crazy because this is the person that is literally the identity of Bungie. Like, this is the vision of Bungie is Jason Jones. So the idea that Bungie could go on without Jason Jones is just unfathomable to me. I was looking through some of his old interviews. There aren't very many. He likes to lay low. He stays incognito. Okay, he's a hunter main, a void hunter main. I came across this one I faintly remembered as a preamble to a Destiny 2 showcase from 2021, in which Luke Smith interviews Jason Jones and asks him all about the early days and how he views game creation now. His final question of the interview is what I wanted to share, as I find Jason's answer especially moving. Luke Smith, what is Bungie's epitaph? What is the tombstone distillation of what Bungie is? All right, Jason Jones says, I was on the 271 coming back across the bridge home one night on the bus. These two guys in front of me were talking about college. They were older, but had gone to college together. At some point, they started talking about Halo. I think it was Halo 2 for them, and they weren't really talking about how much Halo meant to them. and they weren't really talking about how much they meant to each other, but that's what they were doing. They were sharing these stories of where they were and what they were doing and how they were feeling. That moment is still keeping me going. I mean, that might fuel me for the rest of my life. Damn, dude. That's making me tears up a little bit. That's crazy. That's a pretty cool moment for sure. You make this creation, right? Like you create this world, you put your blood, sweat, and tears, your all of your effort, all of your work into this thing, and it is celebrated by everyone in the world. And then you just overhear this conversation, you overhear someone chirping about it, right? And you hear that enthusiasm, that excitement. And it's mostly about those memories, right? And those memories that we cherish from the games that we love. It's not the only time that's happened, but you get a few of those, and that's all I want. It's just people sharing memories in an experience that wouldn't have existed without you bleeding buckets of blood into whatever code or design. Two people having an experience that they wouldn't have had if you hadn't created what you did. That's what matters to me. Damn. This guy is goated. So I'm saying this guy, that's a lot, man. This is Bungie, Jason Jones without Bungie, Bungie without Jason Jones. It's just not, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean anything, right? It's like if you took someone and you brought some random guy off the street and you sat them in this chair. It's like you can call them Lucky 10p. They're sitting in my stream room. They're chirping about whatever I'm chirping about, but it's not the same thing, right? It doesn't have the same impact, right? It doesn't work that way. So you can replace him with someone else, I guess, but it really is over with Jason Jones leaving. This guy was everything to Bungie, and his vision being gone hurts, man. Hurts. They said, "Thank you, Jason, for 35 years leading one of the most consequential gaming companies on earth and creating games that have impacted my childhood and adult life in countless ways. I hope Bungie isn't nearing its end, but if it is, I think they can be proud of the epitaph you wrote." Damn. That's it. That's Bungie's epitaph. Their final note. Their final memory. That's what it'll be remembered as. And I think that this is a pretty beautiful thing, right? I think this is an incredible moment that can be remembered, which is that, when it's all said and done, you're not going to care about your emblems as much as you think you do. You're like, I got that contest emblem, Hopefully you didn't get it from cheating in Desert Perpetual, if you know what I'm saying. Hey, I'll know. All right. But however you got your contest emblems, however you got your god roll weapons, whatever builds you used, those things will fade with time. And what you'll really be left with is the memories of the things that made you excited, that wowed you, that impressed you. And those things you'll cherish forever for sure. And it's really cool that Destiny, Halo, these games, they left us with some really incredible memories. Unfortunately, Marathon, maybe not so much, not trying to roast Marathon in the process of this sentimental moment here, but Marathon maybe didn't quite land in the same way as they would have wanted it to. But Destiny definitely did. Destiny 2 and Destiny 1, both of them were a slam dunk. And obviously Halo, dude, Halo was incredible. Halo probably eclipses Destiny in every way in terms of like popularity and culture and like prevalence. Yeah, that game is, doesn't even need to be talked about how incredible that game's been. But at the end of the day, people remember that more than anything. They remember the memories of the feelings that they were given, right? It's a good thing that I heard this a long time ago of this similar note, which is that people will remember the way you made them feel more than anything, right? So as you spend time with people or people you hang out with or your friends you game with, that feeling you give them, right? That feeling is how they remember you. So I will always remember Destiny as the best game ever. And I'm always thankful that I got to experience this thing. And I'm super sad it's over, dude. Super sad. But now we're on to the next chapter. Crazy stuff, huh, chap? Crazy stuff. Bring this down. Oop, don't do that. Extended personhood beyond biology. Yeah. An epitaph is not really about the dead, it's about a contract with the future by carving a name, a date, a phrase. Interesting. It says an epitaph is a short message or inscription written in memory of someone who has died. It's most commonly engraved on a gravestone or tombstone, but it can also be most broadly as a tribute. Damn, dude. Reddit. Reddit is trying to make me cry today. What the hell, dude? I regret going on Reddit today, dude. Damn it. This is what it was all about in the end, right? The friends you made along the way, the memories, the unforgettable moments. These three goofballs, right? They got a tattoo. You got the Warlock, the Titan, and the Hunter tattoo. The matching tattoos. That's great. Honestly, the Warlock one, that's especially crazy. You got to wear that for the rest of your life. You have to own that. Dude, I don't know if I could respect that personally, but yeah, cool. This is really cool. This is the top trending post on r/Destiny 2. Crazy, huh? What else is trending up here? Let's see what we got here. I've never seen this before. Placeholder bug string if seen in game. Oh no, I got the what is this? Truth catalyst or what is this here? I'm sad Destiny's ending, so I made a hive worm do a backflip. Wait for it. Oh. Nice. State 14 is still stuck in time. His bubble didn't get the upgrade we other Void Titans got. Oh, shit. Yeah, we got to go back. This is some discontinuity. We can't have this. Look at his little baby, his little bitch bubble, dude. Fuck. That sucks, dude. That's brutal. I keep constantly dying to nothing and grasp of avarice. Oh no. Imagine you try to solo flawless these dungeons. I'm supposed to do a challenge pretty soon here where I'm going to go through and solo all of them. Maybe even try solo flawless them. What is happening? I don't think this is the section. You're not supposed to just walk in the section. You have to like speed through it though. This is funny. Since I never. Update. I might be stupid. Update 2 completed the dungeon. This has got to be bait. Sorry. Nope, just new. That's funny. Let's say the mechanics just aren't. He's just. That's that section where you have to like go through the certain mechanics. Just a reminder, we still haven't fought proper true Vex units built for war. 99% that we are fight our farmers, engineers, and managers. Oh, we haven't fought proper true Vex units for war. Most of them are farmers, engineers, and managers. That's funny. The duality of D2 weapons. Most advanced liquid-based auto rifle. The big iron. How Outbreak Perfected would actually fire if floor accurate. Would obliterate frame rate. Oh no. Said my goodbye to Zavala. Man, I'm gonna miss this game. Dang. This may be a silly question, but why couldn't we use the sundial to bring Cade back? Oh no. Wait a second. Wait a Because we don't have time coordinates for him, we did for Saint because Perfect Paradox. I like your funny words, Magic Man. Saint died in the Vex network, so we were able to enter it and pull out another version of him via the network simulation, as I recall. Our Saint is still dead. This also wasn't really painted as a good thing to do, as I recall. The idea being it might be better to just let people die but Osiris is going to be Osiris. We could theoretically enter it and pull out a Cade simulation, but why would we want to? Which raises a very, very interesting question. When this saint dies, will there be two saints in the Traveler heaven we were shown in the final shape? Oh no. Oh no. This is funny. People asking the real questions out here, dude. Does Eris only call Drifter the Drifter? Interesting. Oh, this is gonna be stanky. Oh, geez. Dude, I gotta load in. Let me load into this game real quick. I've been reading too much today. We've been chirping. I gotta get in the game now. I'm jonesing. Got 10,000 tabs opened up here, dude. We're in game now. Hopefully my game doesn't stutter today. Please, please, no stutter, please. All right. We are in game, my dudes. We're going back in the banner. What's today? East Friday. Tomorrow I'm going to be live streaming, chat. I'm going to live stream out in the real world. We're touching grass. Be prepared for the IRL stream. I'm trying to fix my setup for GCX so I can do a GCX setup. We're going to do a bunch of streams with like lab stream and showing the event and stuff. So stay tuned. It's going to be a good time. Let me see if the stuttering's going on still. All right, it is time. What other games do you play when you're not playing Destiny 2, chat? I've been thinking more and more about what to play. Lately, I've been itching for that shooter itch. I might play more Warframe. I wish the best case scenario is to play another shooter game. Oh, why did the live stream end? Let me see if I can fix this real quick. Is this working? Oh, I guess the live stream ended. I don't know. The TikTok one at least. That guy's helmet is insane. That warlock has like a banana head. That's funny. He knows what he's doing. That's hilarious looking too. What's that, my zombie side? What you up to? Hey. The stuttering doesn't feel like it's there anymore. Oh my god, I think it's gone. Oh, we're so back I can play the game. Life is good. Yeah, that guy lit him up with that thermite. No. Oh my god. How did we get triple capped? We just captured A and B like 2 seconds ago. Good lord. Oh, come on. Oof. We are kind of getting cooked here. Nice, captured that B. Let's get some of this green up here. Oh my god. Nice. We're just locking it down on the high ground up here. You gonna peek this? Go ahead. No, no, no. Dude, the thruster is so nice. The mid-air thruster, love that. We're just locking it down up here, dude. You are not gonna get access to the mid ever again. Uh-oh. Unless you pop that. That might do it. Dude. This is a fucking slaughter fest now, dude. We are not leaving I'm not leaving this mid, dude. I'm camping so bad right now. I feel terrible. This is honestly, this is awful gameplay in some ways, but fuck. fuck it. I got the high ground. I'm not risking it. Grab this shit. I'm gonna go light someone up over here. Let that guy kill him. They are actually getting bullied now. Oh, they spawned in on A. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Really? Stay here and capture this, bud. I gotta keep it locked down in the mid. No way, that didn't kill him. That's insane. I needed it to kill him. It would, then the explosion from the other ones would work out. Would have killed the guy near him. I meant to say, my bad. What the fuck is that ability? Who the fuck made that? That shit is... that is not okay. Bro just hurled a knife down a hallway. I'm not even peeking it. And it one hit killed me? Dude, we got this shit locked down. You are not getting in here, dude. Get out of here with that shit. Get out of here with that. Oh, grab this, grab this, grab this. Yes. Huge wall. Oh, shit. What did Bungie cancel last second? The TWID. Oh. TWID got canceled. RIP. I didn't even get to pop my super. I just love the feel of Destiny. Freaking first person. PvP, PvE, it doesn't really matter. The feel is so good. The best moment to moment gameplay. Bar none, dude. What game can hold up against this? Let me pull up my Steam library. AM Labs, Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Better Than Dead, Borderlands 4, Black Ops 3, Marathon, Classic Marathon, Crimson Desert. I might play Black Ops 3. Play some of those custom maps. Classic Marathon, Crimson Desert. Crimson Desert, dude, I haven't played that in forever. Crimson Desert, dude, that game was awesome. The Cube, Save Us, Deadlock. This one's going to do pretty well. Deadlock's going to do good. Fight for Peace demo. Goofy Gorillas, Hack 95 demo. Hardest. High Guard. Oh, God. Marathon. Oh, God. Mecha Chameleon. Mind's Eye. Schedule 1. I missed Schedule 1. That was a good one. Battlefront 2. That was fun. Subnautica. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Bro, play High Guard? Yeah, you wish. None of these games, dude. None of these games can match the moment-to-moment gameplay. I think I'm gonna get into playing Call of Duty Zombies though. I think this is my thing. If you guys don't know, my entire, like my first person shooter experience, the game that made me actually like what led me into Destiny was Call of Duty. And the first thing I experienced in Call of Duty that made me really like it was zombies. Like for me, zombies was my magnum opus moment. The moment where I saw into the fourth dimension, the future of gaming and everything. Call of Duty, World at War Zombies, the first map, whatever that's called, Nocturne Toten or something, right? That was it. That was the first time I ever laid eyes on a first-person shooter game like that. I mean, there's others before that, of course, but none as good as that one, right? And I remember I liked it so much, dude. I could just play that for hours and hours. And it was me and BW playing it. In fact, we would just play for hours and hours and hours. We would never stop playing zombies, dude. And I think I might do a series. Maybe me and him go and we play through all the zombies. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we play them all together. We go back. We run it back, dude. Back to the beginning. I was thinking that could be fun. I'm so out of it from the zombies stuff. Like, I literally haven't done anything zombies in so many years that it's funny because, like, I'm passionate about it, but I'm also, like, so out of touch with it, if that makes sense. It's an interesting dilemma to have. Yeah, I haven't played any, dude. I played World at War Zombies, maybe I played maybe a little bit of Black Ops and Black Ops 2, but I vaguely even remember that. Vaguely remember that. So I need to, like, brush up on my history of it. Once I brush up on the history of it, though, we're going hard with that. 1000%. I shotgunned that guy. Sounds crazy. He sounds like he's actually shooting a damn Star Wars gun. Like, it sounds like the game, or it sounds like Star Wars. Like, the exact one-to-one sound. Like, as soon as I hear that, I start thinking fucking stormtroopers or something. I enjoyed zombies beyond just a wave-based shoot 'em up. That's how I got into Dead Island and Dying Light exploring. Nice. Yeah, what is the zombies, like, meta and, like, the Easter eggs, you know? I'll see if I get a better answer for this. I want to do a complete playthrough of all the zombies games from Call of Duty. Can you list them in chronological order? And then what are the significance of the Easter eggs in them? And, like, what are the other, like, what do people do as, like, maybe content creators trying to play these games? Hey. Let's see here. You do a complete Treyarch Zombies playthrough, release order, you Call of Duty World at War, the 4 maps there. Got you. Okay, what are we doing? Go away. Then you do Black Ops, there's like 6 maps there. That's where the story really begins. Interesting. Then you got Black Ops 2. I never paid attention to the story at all. I feel like I'm the world's worst person when it comes to video games that have narratives in them. Like, I'm actually the worst. Because I'll play a game that'll have, like, narrative elements, and, like, I just do not pay attention to it at all. I just like I laugh a little bit because it's not that I don't like stories. They just, for some reason, they just don't compel me in the same way. I don't know. Right. And then so you go from Black Ops to Black Ops 2, and then you got Black Ops 3. And then you've got Black Ops 4. We've got Black Ops Cold War, Call of Duty Vanguard, Modern Warfare 3, MWZ story missions, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Why are the Easter eggs such a big deal? The main Easter egg quest is basically the campaign mission for each zombie's map. Completing one usually explains the story, unlocks a cinematic ending, reveals major lore, gives achievements or calling cards. That's crazy. I gotta play through all these zombie maps? God damn, there's so many. Power ammo. Cooked, dude. Ever since things picked up again in Star Wars Battlefront 2, the PvP hasn't been really fun, just for a quick round, and then, yeah. Dude, we got Mercy in this one. We got absolutely smoked. This would be so much fun, though, playing through all the Zombies games. This would be awesome. God, that'd be so much fun. Oh, I don't think any of these guys are... let's see what these guys are up to. See what these guys are up to. Yup. Anyone there? The hell? Everyone gone? Daruz? The hell? Test? Shit, everyone's gone. Ain't no way. They all went AFK, huh? That's insane. I went to join the Discord where these guys were at, and they were all gone. Everyone was AFK, each and every person. Alright, let's see what else there is. And they had their live streams turned on too, so I'm like, you guys all left and you left your live streams on? Excuse me? What are we doing here? Insanity. Right? Insanity. All right. Or start a GTA roleplay server and call it the Ones Without Destiny. We'll call it Destiny 3. Everything we do from now on, we name it, is this Destiny 3? Question mark. We're searching for that Destiny 3. That's all we want. Luke CB on Twitter is the most unserious person of all time. Final Twid, he's got Destiny and DMG. Don't leave me. That shit is funny as hell, dude. Oh my god. That's so funny. All right, chat. That's where I'm going to call it for the night. I'm going to crank out a bunch of videos and a bunch of shorts. So make sure you're subscribed on the YouTube channel, Lucky 10P, Lucky 10 Premium, the second YouTube channel. Make sure you're following on TikTok and on Instagram and on Twitter. And of course, you're following here on Twitch with notifications on. Are we ever going to get a D3? At this stage, it's looking like no, my dudes. It's looking like no. But we're going to keep fighting for it. Where are we at with the D3 petition? Destiny 3 petition. We need to get this thing to 400K. Please. Oh my gosh, we're almost at 397,000. So we're there. We're close. We got 50 media mentions. Can you believe that? 50 media mentions. Wow. Incredible. Have a good one, my zombie side. Yep. I'm going to go play some Minecraft with my son. And we're going to be looking at our different Pokemon cards. I got a big surprise for him. I got him this. This is a Pokemon card binder. Look at this. You ever seen a big ass binder like this? It holds 4 cards in a row. It can hold 1,024 cards, so it can hold every Pokemon card. We're going to try and collect every Pokemon card together. It's going to be awesome. We're getting there. It's a process, dude. Every Pokemon card? Yeah, Nintendo's about to make, or what is it? It's Nintendo, right? They're about to make a lot of money off of me, unfortunately. So we're collecting Pokemon cards. We're playing Minecraft. Life is good. And we'll be back. Tomorrow will be the day off. No stream tomorrow. Well, actually, no, tomorrow we are streaming because we're streaming in real life. So I will be maybe downtown Tampa. I'm not sure. I'm going to test out the stream. But I have this mobile stream that I'm using. And the mic quality is going to be really good. The video quality is going to be really good. It's going to actually be kind of epic. I spent some time fixing a setup, set up a rig. So tomorrow's stream will be wildly different. I'm not even going to be in this room or anything. We're going to be out in the real world, touching grass and shit. It's going to be crazy. I hope to see y'all there. Have a good night. Thanks for watching, everybody.